Yeah, so you might have to say something. So we'll start just lying down when you're ready. Take your time. I'm just going to check because I saw Wendy coming in, but I don't know if she's going to now. I'll keep an eye on her. So we're going to start lying down. If you want to, you don't have to, but you could bend your knees and have your feet wide and your knees dropping in towards the sides, because we're going to do quite a lot of forward folds today. So maybe just easing off a little bit of the hips before you start. But again, if that doesn't feel comfortable, or maybe it does for a little while, you can always adjust it. And so once you get there, just get yourself comfortable. It's taking a few moments just to come away from your morning so far. And just begin to draw your attention inwards. Start to pay a little bit of attention to your breath, just as it moves in through your nose, along the back of your throat, and then down into your lungs. And then just following it in the opposite way as well. So allow your breath to be smooth and thorough. When your breath starts to even out, start to notice your body, just how it feels this morning. So maybe you notice any areas of tension or tightness. Try and allow these areas to relax a little bit more. So maybe using your breath here, just try and soften what you can. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing some forward folds today, and forward folds are really quite calming, but they're also introspective as well. So they kind of allow us to come in to that internal landscape a little bit more. So as a result of that, I'm going to ask you, you don't have to, but if you want to, you could start or try to set an intention at the start of class. So the intention is really just trying to cultivate something that you feel that you may either be lacking in, or you kind of got out of the way of it. So really just if you want to, maybe it's patience, maybe it is more kind of having more energy, or any of these things that you would like to kind of cultivate a little bit deeper. And it doesn't have to be for you personally, so it might be for somebody that you know maybe feels that they need a little bit of boost, or maybe you feel a little bit of you need to have a little bit of your energy that you create. So the intention is really just to direct the energy we create during the class. So we'll revisit it a couple of times, but we'll start to move now. So when you're ready, maybe just bringing your knees apart and separating your feet about hip distance apart as well. So because we're doing forward folds, we're going to start by stretching your hamstrings. So you could, if you've got the strap, keep it kind of handy, but maybe draw your knees towards your chest first of all, and you can make any movements, maybe side to side or forwards and back there. And then we'll keep your right knee in and place the left foot just onto the ground to start with. And if you've not got the strap, just take your hands behind the back of your thigh and start to lengthen through your leg. If you do have the strap, then just placing it around the ball of your foot. Just one strap in either hand, just nice and loosely. So rather than kind of being aggressive about it, be very gentle with the strap. You don't have to straighten the leg, you might keep it bent. You can have the strap whenever you'd like it. And then you can either stay here, or maybe you extend your left leg along the ground as well. But again, just see how that feels. Start to use your breath, so maybe breathing into the back of your leg that you're stretching. And the sensation should be quite a nice sensation. So if it becomes unpleasant, then you really just need to back off out of it. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll slowly start to re-bend the legs. So you can release the strap for a moment. Draw that right knee back into your chest. We're going to take a little twist. If you take your left hand just onto your right knee, and then just start to draw that knee all the way over to the left side of your body. So you might roll over to the outer edge of your left foot. You might stretch your right arm away and maybe look along it, but just see how that feels as you get a little twist in your hip. Again, take it to the point that feels kind of good. Okay, when you're ready, we'll make our way back in towards the center. So you can draw both knees back in towards your chest again and make some movement. So we'll do the other side. We'll keep your left knee in and right foot on the ground to start. And again, if you're using the strap, take it around the sole of your foot, start to extend it up. If you don't have a strap, you can use your hands just around the back of that thigh. Maybe you start to move the hands up, but just to where it feels best to you. And just breathing into it, so directing your breath into it. Maybe you start to extend that right leg along the ground if you've not already. Again, just move in your own way. So if you want to move deeper into it, then do, but without forcing it. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to re-bend the legs. Again, releasing the strap if you've got it. And we'll start to draw that left knee in. So this time we'll use the right hand. So just on that left knee, start to draw it over towards the right side of your body. Maybe you stretch your left arm away and look along it. Just see how that feels. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back towards the center. So just take your time. Again, you might draw your knees in just for a moment. And I'm going to set the feet onto the ground. So because we're doing a lot of forward folding, we're going to do a little bit of a kind of back bend and do our bridge. So we're going to do a little moving bridge today. So if you have your feet on the ground, about hip distance apart, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're just going to tilt your pelvis a little bit and start to peel and lift your back off the ground. So trying to move nice and slowly as you press up, just to where you can. Take a breath in at the top, and then on the exhale, just slowly start to lower down. If you can, try and lower down one little tiny piece of your back at a time. When you get to the bottom, take a big breath in again. And breathing out will start to move up again. So just take your time, just moving through the bridge, warming up through your spine. So the good thing about our forward folds is that they allow us to stretch the entire back side of the body. So all the way through your feet and your ankles, all the way up through the back of your legs, to your hips, through your spine, even up to your shoulders and your neck. And sometimes when we're doing them, we can stretch through the arms as well. If you want to add the arms here, as you breathe out, we're going to stretch your fingertips away. And then as you lift up through your bridge, you're going to reach the arms just up and overhead. If that doesn't feel right to you, then you don't have to bother doing it. Take a big inhale. And then on the exhale, start to lower down. And keeping the arms stretched out, bring them all the way back over again. Then inhale at the bottom. And as you exhale, start to lift and push to your feet, rising all the way back up. Inhale at the top and exhale, lowering all the way back down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So just take your own time to do it. So stretching through your fingertips, lifting and rising all the way back up again. Inhale at the top and exhale, slowly lower down. Well done. So when you come all the way back down again, just hold there for a moment. And again, you can draw your knees back in towards your chest. So we're going to come up to an all fours position. So if you do want to roll over to your side, you could, or maybe the hands go by the back of your thighs. You can just roll maybe back and forwards a couple of times until you come up to sitting. Okay, so when we come up, we're going to come to an all fours position. So take your time moving in. When you get there, we'll spread the hands and have the knees hip distance apart. So we'll do a couple of cat-cows when you get there. So just in your own time, as you inhale, start to drop the belly down and pull your chest forwards. And then on that exhale, just rounding in through the upper back and shoulders. So do that again, so inhale, dropping the belly and lifting in your chest. And rounding in. Start to follow your breath now. So using that inhale and exhale just to define the movement and the speed at which you move. On your next inhale, we'll make our way back towards the center, so just coming in. So another important aspect to our forward fold is that we want to push the hips up towards the sky, which sounds a bit silly, but you'll see what we mean once we get into them. So from here, we're going to just move your hips. So you've done Pilates with me, you've done this little move before, but it's called a kitten rather than a cat. And we're moving just through your hips. So when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale. We're going to push the hips as if they're pushing the tailbone up towards the sky and arch your back a little bit. And then as you exhale, we'll tuck the tailbone under and draw the belly in. So you might think it's like a cat and cow, but nothing moves above your bra straps. It's simply your hips that are moving. So it's very small. And we're kind of isolating the movement of the hips without moving through the upper back or the ribs or the head or the neck. So we're keeping everything really still. So once we come into our forward folds, try and feel that movement where you're pushing the hips up towards the sky, tailbone moves up. Okay, we'll move back to a more neutral spine position. And then from here, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So you might want to move your hands forwards a little bit. We'll start to tuck the toes under and then we'll lift the hips up high. When we're in this position, and move your feet where you need to. We're going to start to move the hips up to the sky again. So the easiest way to do that is to bend your knees. So if you bend your knees a little bit and then start to push the hips up, keeping the knees bent as you do it. So pretty much like when you were doing it in that little kitten move, you want to really direct the sit bones up towards the sky. And we can do that easier with the knees bent. And when you're doing that, try and maybe bring the stretch more into the upper back. So push up and out of your hands, push up and out of your shoulders, and lift the belly. So in this position, you're kind of getting Mula Bandha without much effort. So really try and engage through that lower belly. Okay, from there, we'll start to straighten the legs again. So maybe start to just press your heels down. And still try and keep that feeling of the hips tilted up towards the ceiling. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. I'm going to lift both heels up. And then on the exhale, we're going to draw your right knee in towards your chest. So still staying in that downward facing dog position. So we draw the belly up and in. We lift up through that knee, pull it towards your chest. And then the tricky part, we're going to step that right foot to the top. So if you need to do it in one or more ways, then do that, but try and step that right foot through. Again, if you need to lay your back foot down to do it or modify it in any way, do that. So we'll lay the left knee down. We'll come in for our low lunge. So knee over the ankle on the front leg, using blocks if you'd like underneath your hands, or maybe start to lift up through the upper body. So just rise up through your chest. Again, try and get that sensation of the hips dropping down and the hips pushing forwards a little bit with that back knee slightly away from the hip. And then maybe reach with your arms. So relax your shoulders and breathe. Maybe bend your elbows a little bit just to release the shoulders even more and open your chest. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, release your hands down towards your mat. Now from there, we're going to just tuck the toes under on the back leg and lift through your back knee. Now we're staying in this runner's lunge. So when you're here, again, you might come up onto your fingertips to give you more space. Maybe you use blocks underneath your hands, whatever kind of suits you. But in this posture, try and lift through your belly and your chest. So we're not leaning against the front leg at all. And let the hips again drop down. So we're using gravity. You need to bend your back knee, then bend it by all means. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Now we're going to step to the top here. So again, if you need to hop it up a couple of times, then do that. It doesn't matter. When you move to the top, we'll keep your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees a lot. And come into kind of your first real forward fold. But if you think about it, downward facing dog is a forward fold. So it's kind of like this, but it's not zero, it's more stretched out. So let the head drop. Think about the hips or the tailbone pushing up towards the ceiling, lifting through your belly, so getting that free mula bandha. And then maybe take hold of opposite elbows here. If you'd like to, you could gently sway side to side. But we spread the toes. Try and tilt the weight slightly forwards. The heels are still down, but the actual weight of your body is slightly forward. When you're ready, release your hands. As you inhale here, we'll lengthen, so stretching through your spine. Maybe you move your hands up your legs. If you've got long arms, you could probably do that with your hands on the ground. As you exhale, fold towards your legs again. On the inhale, we'll reach up, so rising all the way up to the top. And on the exhale, we'll bring the palms together just in front of your heart. Maybe close your eyes just for a moment. Just noticing how you feel, maybe revisiting the intention that you set at the beginning of class. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands. So you can keep your feet hip distance apart if you'd like to, or bring your feet back together. So in Dandasana, spread your toes, lengthen through your legs, relax your shoulders. As you inhale, reach up with your arms. On the exhale, folding towards your legs and maybe bending your knees as you come down. On the inhale here, lengthen forwards, so stretching forwards. And on the exhale, we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. So we'll place the hands down, we'll step both feet back and just into that downward dog position again. So when you come in, make sure you make adjustments. So adjust your feet, adjust your hands. So really spread the fingers, push up and out of the hands, up and out of the shoulders. And we get that mula bandha feeling as well. So we're lifting the hips. Maybe you bend your knees again. If you feel that gives you a better stretch through the upper part of your body, then maybe you keep the knees bent. Or maybe you start to press the heels down, which gives us a nice stretch through the calves. So just work with what feels right. Okay, on your next inhale, lift both heels back up again. And then we'll draw the left knee this time in towards your chest. So pulling it in, lifting through the belly. Breathing. One more breath. And then we'll step that left foot towards the top of your mat. So again, take one or two hops if you need to, use your hand to do it. And then maybe start to release down through your right leg. Maybe you move your right leg back a bit. But try and keep the knee over the ankle on the front leg. Keep your hands on the ground or start to lift through your chest again. You can always put your hands on that front leg if it feels better. So let the hips drop down. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe reach with your arms. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll release the hands back down towards the ground. So again, use blocks if you'd like, or come up onto your fingertips, tap your toes and lift through your back knee. So let the hips sink towards your mat. Pull the belly in and lift the belly and the chest up off that front leg. We'll take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, again, we'll step to the top. So again, if you want to do it in one go, then do that. If you need to do a few goes, then that's fine. Separate your feet. Let the body fold in. Bend your knees and lift your belly. Maybe you take hold of opposite elbows again. So you can always bring the other arm in front. And instead of swaying side to side, maybe you move a little bit forwards and back. Just whatever feels best. Maybe give the head a little shake. Okay, when you're ready, release the hands all the way back down. So as you inhale again, lengthening forwards, so stretch forwards. On the exhale, just fold back in towards your legs. On the inhale, reach up, so rise all the way up. And on the exhale, palms meet the heart. And maybe just closing your eyes just for a moment. Just see how you feel. Okay, we'll come up towards the top of your mat again. So again, maybe you have your feet together, maybe you keep that little distance between your legs. Spread your toes, relax the shoulders. As you inhale, we'll reach back up with the arms. On the exhale, fold forwards towards your legs. As you inhale, lengthen, so stretching forwards. And on the exhale, we'll step back with your right leg. Now we're coming onto the ball of your foot on that back leg, so it's that kind of runner's lunge again. Now you have an option here, so you could stay here. You could lower your back knee down, so if that feels better to you, then do that. Otherwise, lift your upper body. So as you draw your belly in, you lift through the upper body and you reach the arms up. But just work where it feels the best place for you to be and start to feel quite balanced here. So, adjust your feet. Maybe you take your feet a little bit wider apart to get that balance. Okay, when you're ready, you can stay here, or if you'd like, on the inhale, we're going to start to reach the hands along your sides. As you do that, we extend and lengthen through the upper body as you reach your fingertips back, and we push away through your back here. And again, this can be done with your knee on the ground. So, work with what is the best option for you. Take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, reach the arms back up. From here, on the exhale, we're going to bring the palms to the center. Now we're going to step to the top, and you have an option. If you want a little bit more, you're going to step to the top and you're going to lift through your back knee. So as you step to the top, we lift the knee up first, and then you release the foot down. Again, you don't have to, you can just step to the top. Okay, we'll try the other side. So inhale, reach with your arms. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. And on the exhale, we'll step back with your left leg this time. So again, use the option if you want to lower that back knee, stay here, or inhale, reaching up with your arms. But again, just take your time, move into what position suits you. And when you get there, try and find a kind of a comfortable place to be. And breathe. Now you can stay here. Otherwise, start to reach your fingertips back again. As you reach your fingertips back, you lengthen through the crown of your head. You lift the chest and lift the belly. And we push away on that back leg. Okay, on your next inhale, start to reach back up with your arms. On the exhale, we'll bring the hands towards the center. And on the inhale, we'll start to lift through that back knee. Maybe you hold the back knee for a second. And on the exhale, bring your feet back together again. Okay, we'll try that again. So inhale, reaching with your arms. Exhale, fold towards your legs. Lengthen on the inhale. And we'll step back with your right leg on the exhale. Again, stay here. Or on the inhale, start to lift and reach up with the arms. Hold here on the exhale. On the inhale, reach the arms along your sides. Push and press it away. Hold on the exhale. As you inhale, reach back up with the arms. On the exhale, bring the hands down towards the center. As you inhale, lift up through that back knee. And on the exhale, feet together. Okay, we'll try that again. So inhale, reach with your arms. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Step back with your left leg on the exhale. As you inhale, reach up. Hold here on the exhale. On the inhale, reach the arms along your sides. Hold on the exhale. As you inhale, reach back up. Exhale, palms to your heart. Inhale, lift through your back knee. Exhale, release to stand. Okay, we'll do that one more time on either side. So inhale up. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Step back with your right leg on the exhale. Inhale to reach. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, reach back if you'd like. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale, lift your back knee. Exhale, stand. Okay, last time. So inhale up. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Step back with your left leg on the exhale. Inhale, reach. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, reach back. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step up with that back knee. And exhale to stand. Maybe close your eyes again. Again, just noticing your body. Hopefully it's nice and warm now. And maybe revisiting the intention if you set one at the beginning. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we're going to do a little bit of balance today, not very much. And if you want to use your band here, your yoga strap, then please make use of it. If you don't want to, then you can just do this one without as well. So I'll show you with both, but we're going to start on your right leg. And again, if you want to use a wall here, please use a wall or chair or anything that you need. So we'll stand on your right leg, we'll spread the toes. And if you've got your band, just have it in your left hand. And then you can just lift up through your left knee. And again, you could just simply take that strap or band around the knee and just hold the knee up. That would be absolutely fine. So if that feels the best thing for you to do, then just do that. If you want to, you could take it around the ball of your foot and then extend it forwards. But again, just work where you can, where it feels right. If you don't want to have it high, then the bent knee option is a good one because you're still getting a lot of balance. But work where it feels the best position for you to do it in. Good, and breathe there. So lengthen through the crown of your head and breathe. Well done. If you want to, you can then take both of your straps into your left hand. And again, with your knee bent or straight, you can move it out towards the side, trying to keep the hips forward. Maybe you stretch through that opposite hand. Maybe you use a wall here. But just work where you can, where it feels right to you. Well done. Okay, we'll make our way back towards the center. And then we'll slowly release. Good. Okay, we'll try it on the other side. We'll see how it feels. So again, standing on your left leg. Maybe take your strap into your right hand now. Start to lift through that right knee. So drawing the knee up and in. And again, you could just stay here, just with your hands on the leg. You could definitely stay here. So if you want the knee option, then we're just going to take the strap just onto that knee and lift it up. If you want to take it around the ball of your foot, then do that. And again, you don't have to have it high. You can have it quite low to the ground. Maybe you want to work with the leg higher, but just take it to where it feels best for you. Good. And use something to hold on to. Good. Okay, from there, if you want to, we'll take both of your straps into your right hand and then start to move that leg out towards the right side. So again, just work where you can, where it feels right. Breathe. Good. And keep the knee bent. It will be easier. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Slowly back towards the center again. We'll rebend the leg, release your strap, and then we'll just bring your feet back together. Maybe bring your hands in just for a moment. Just notice the sensations that you've created in your body. And also notice where your mind goes, so hopefully it's not too critical. We all wobble, and that's, if we don't wobble, then our body never gets any stronger. We need to use that wobbling to help the muscles to contract and then get stronger, and the process begins again. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we're going to come in and do some standing postures. If you do have a block, then it might be useful. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold today. So, if you've got one, then use it at any hand. Just have it kind of handy at the side of your mat. So we'll stand up towards the top of the mat. We'll come in as the same way that we've been doing. So just that kind of half sun salutation. But if you want to, you could just step back with your right leg into warrior one, which reminds me, I'm going to go down this side just so I'm on the right side for you. So we'll spread the toes, we'll lengthen the legs, relax your shoulders. So as you inhale, we'll reach up with your arms. On the exhale, just folding towards your legs. Inhale, lengthen, so stretching through your spine. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down and we'll step back with your right leg. So we're moving to warrior one this time. So the heel goes down, toes forward, bend your front leg and start to rise up just in your own way. Maybe you start to reach up with your hands, but again, just see how that feels. So remember, we're keeping the balance between your feet kind of level, still bending into that front leg, and we've still got the shoulders and the hips rotating round towards the front. Again, you can just stay here if you'd like. We're going to do that same variation that we did in the high lunge. So we're going to reach the hands back and reach the chest forwards. So it's not quite humble warrior, but we're getting more of a lengthening through the back body. So that's kind of what we want in our forward fold. So stretching through your fingers, drawing your shoulder blades together, pushing away through your chest. One more breath. Start to rise back up to warrior one. And on the exhale, we'll open up to warrior two. As you come round, you might need to adjust your feet. So maybe you just turn your toes out. Maybe you widen your feet a little bit. Try and sink into it more. And try and get a sense of opening up through the hips here. So we're stretching that right leg back. And we're opening up again through the left knee and the right hip. Widen. Now from here, we're going to come in for triangle, Trikonasana. So we'll start to lengthen through that front leg and then we'll move forward. So you might push your right hip back a little bit and then lengthen forwards over the left leg. Maybe you come down to a block or maybe you just place your hand on that leg, reaching straight up with your right hand. Again, you might be cut towards it. Trying to imagine that you've got this kind of imaginary wall behind you. So you're drawing back on your shoulder, you're drawing back on your right hip. Good. And we're trying to lengthen the bottom side waist. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to move up. So draw your belly and rise back up again. When you get there, we'll just release the arms. So we're going to turn your left toes towards the long edge of your mat. So we're coming in for the first of these forward folds. So again, just make sure your toes are facing towards the long edge and they're aligned. Today, we're just going to lift your belly and lift your chest and then start to fold forwards. As you do that, start to think about where your hips are. So you might use your block. You could bring your hands down to the block. Start to pull your belly in, lift the hips and the tailbone up. Bend your knees if you need to and relax the upper body down. So again, if you're on a block here, you might just use that just to gently encourage yourself to go forwards a little bit. To see where your weight is in the legs. So we want the hips more over your ankles. Good. Again, bend your knees. Try and relax the upper body when you get there. Good. Use a block if you need to. Or if you've not got a block, you can always put your hands on your legs. And if your hands are easily on the ground, maybe you walk them back towards your feet. But just if that feels the best thing for you to do. And start to feel the stretch. So all the way up through your ankles, the calves, the back of your thighs, all the way up through your hips, and then down through your spine, all the way down to the top of your head. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move up. So you could bend your knees, you could roll up, you can move up in any way that you like. So just take your time moving out of it. So when you get to the top, we're going to turn your left toes back up towards the top edge of your mat. And then we're going to re-bend that left knee. Now this is a little bit of a tricky change because we're coming back into that high crescent lunge. So you're going to spin on the heel of your back leg to come up onto your toes. So if you feel like you're too far back with that leg, then you do that. Always hop it in a little bit. And then if you want to, you could reach up with your arms. So you're still feeling hopefully pretty balanced. And then we'll bring the hands together. And again, it's the same transition. So if you want to lift up to the top with your knee lifted, you can. If you don't, just step to the top. So when you're ready, just lift up. Maybe the knee lifts up first, and then we'll release the feet down. When you get to the top, if you separate your feet, so as wide as your hips, because we're going to come into a little forward fold here. Now this time, we're going to inhale and reach the arms up, just see how that feels. And on the exhale, we'll just fold towards your legs. You might be bending your knees as you come down. So again, you could still use your block here. So you could just have it in front of you and just move yourself forwards, maybe a little bit. Maybe if you're down all the way with your hands, you could hook your big toes. So with your two-piece fingers, just take it round, close that off with the thumb, and then bend the elbows out to the side and draw yourself in a little bit more. But if it doesn't work for you, then just take your hands where it feels right to you. So don't force it. If it feels really tight, bend your knees and place your hands maybe even on your thighs. You don't have to go down far to get the benefit of the forward fold. So one of the other benefits is it's really good for the organs in the lower part of the body. So your kidneys, all of these organs get kind of squished a little bit when we fold forward. And then when we move out a bit, then all the blood kind of rushes about and re-energizes you. So when you're ready, we'll start to come up. So we'll release any bind that you have. Maybe bend your knees this time, Justin, then just start to slowly roll up, just one little tiny bit at a time. When you get to the top, we'll release the shoulders. We'll reach up with the arms and bring the hands towards your chest. Maybe just take a moment. Again, just see how the forward fold feels. Sometimes they reckon that the forward fold at the end of quite an intense kind of movement is like a splash of cold water to your face. So basically when you've got your head below your heart, then you know the body can perhaps get a little bit of respite. We'll try the other side then, we'll see how that feels. So again, feet together or apart, relax your shoulders. Inhale to reach and exhale to fold forwards. Lengthen on the inhale, so stretch your spine. And as you exhale, we'll step back with your left leg this time. So again, we're still moving to warrior one. So we'll place the heel down, toes forward, start to rise up in your own time. The shoulders and hips round. Maybe you reach with your arms. Try and keep that pressure through your feet the same on the back leg as it is on that front leg. And then just breathe there. Again, please feel free to stay here. Otherwise, as you inhale, we'll reach the fingertips along your sides. We'll start to extend and lengthen through the upper body, keeping that front leg bent, stretching through the crown of your head. Not done. Okay, when you're ready, start to rise back up on your inhale. And then we'll open up to warrior two on your exhale. So again, maybe move your feet. Maybe just turn your toes out. Start to sink a little bit deeper into that posture. So again, take your time moving into it. Make the adjustments that you want to make and start to feel the hips opening a little bit more. And breathe there. And set your drishti, so your gaze is really where you want the energy to go. So in warrior two, we want to look along that front hand. Okay, we'll move into triangle. So slowly start to straighten your front leg. You don't have to fully straighten it. Push your way through your left hip. Lengthen forward over your right leg. Release the right hand just to where it will go. And maybe reach up with your left hand, or maybe you just bend it and drop it behind your back. So sometimes that gives us the ability to turn the chest more, the ability to pull the shoulder back a little bit more. Good, but just what feels like the right thing for you. And remember, we're not going into everything full tilt, you're just going into it to where it feels the right position. Okay, we'll start to move up. So draw your belly in, inhale to lift up, and as you exhale, we'll release the hands back down again. So we'll turn the toes with that right foot forwards, and we'll start to move into our forward fold again. So again, if you want to use your block, please do. So we'll lift the belly and lift the chest. Start to just fold forward. You might bend your knees a lot and just release yourself down to where it feels right to you. And that might mean that you keep your hands on your legs. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll release them to the ground. And then if you want to, we'll take that same bind that we did when the legs were narrow. So we'll hook the big toes, thumbs connect, bend the elbows, draw yourself in. Again, if it doesn't suit you to do that, then you will modify it to where it feels right to you. And just while you're there, think about the sit bones and the hips. I'm just trying to tilt them very gently more towards the ceiling. Even if you bend your knees, so remember we did that when we were in downward dog, we bent the knees quite a bit to get that little tilt of the pelvis up. When you're ready, we'll move out of it. So if you've got that bind, start to release it. Start to come up in your own way. So draw your belly in, start to rise all the way back up towards the top. Okay, from there, we'll turn the right toes up towards the top edge of your mat. We'll re-bend into that right leg. And again, start to rotate and turn onto the ball of your foot and your back leg. So in this high crescent lunge. We'll reach up with the arms. If you want to, you can always keep them down. And then as you exhale, bring the hands towards the heart. Again, if you want to step up with the knee lifted, you can. So just step it up. If you're hopping, that's okay. And then release your feet down to the ground. So again, separate them a little bit more so they're slightly wider than your hips. So one last standing forward fold. So as you inhale, we'll reach up. Exhale to fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Again, use your block if you'd like, or maybe this time you start to pick your feet up and you place your hand palm facing up underneath your foot. Again, just see how that feels. If you can't manage it or it doesn't feel right for you, then you just leave it out. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly start to release that. So picking your feet back up again, release your hands. Inhale, lengthen, so stretch through your spine. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down and we'll step back to that downward facing dog for one last time. We're just moving into it. Okay, from here, we'll lift the heels up and then we're just going to lower your knees towards the ground. Now from here, we are going to make our way down towards your mat. So you can come down in your own way. You could do a little push up. You could just simply release yourself down to the ground, whatever feels best to you. And then we'll bring the hands round and we'll just lower the head towards your arms. So you can just take a moment, just noticing your body, maybe revisiting that intention. Just see how it all feels. Okay, from here, we're going to come in and we're going to do a little bit of Cobra Practice. We're just going to see how that feels. So we've done quite a lot of forward folds. We'll do a little back bending now. So we're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll start to draw the elbows in towards the sides of your body. And with your feet, if you start to press your feet just gently down towards the ground, and then you can relax through your legs a little. So the pubic bone is down. And as you inhale, we're going to start to roll up. So just through your nose, maybe through your chin a little bit. And then on the exhale, just slowly release back down. So do that again. So inhale, starting to move up. So maybe draw the shoulders down your back, maybe press a little bit higher. And on the exhale, just slowly release down. So do that again. So inhale, coming up. So again, just modify it. If you want to move higher up, then do that. If you're not happy going up higher, then just work to where it feels best for you and your body today at this moment. Try and keep the elbows squeezing in towards the sides of your body. So we don't want the elbows kind of flaying out. Good. And try to work really smoothly and lift up, keeping your head and your neck in line with your spine as you rise up. And we'll just do one more of these. So again, just taking your own time. And release yourself down. Again, when you come down, maybe you bring your arms back round and drop your head down. And if you'd like to this time, you could move your hips a little bit side to side. Maybe you just bend your knees and just sway your feet a little bit side to side. Okay, from here, we're going to start to make our way up to a sitting position. So you can use your hands here, just pressing yourself up to all fours first. You walk your knees in. And then have a little seat. And as you come round, you might want to grab your strap again and maybe a block if you'd like to, or you could sit on a folded up blanket here if you've got one, or a spare mat. So we're going to come in, first of all, before we do our seated forward folds, we're going to come into Dandasana. So Dandasana is really a posture where we stretch the entire back body. So start to think about where you're sitting, or so what you're sitting on. We want to be sitting on the sit bones. So maybe you just use your hands and take the fleshy parts away and sit forwards a little bit. People like to move their hips and get into it, or maybe sit on a block. And then we'll bring the hands down by your side. So your feet can be flexed and your knees can be bent here. So you have to straighten your legs. Try and draw the shoulders down your back so you're really strong in the upper body. And then we're going to try and start to feel every single muscle in our back body stretching. So through your ankles, all the way up through the back of your legs, through your hips, your spine, your shoulders, even lengthening through the crown of your head. So you're getting that stretch through your neck as well. And then we're going to try and keep that as we move into our first forward fold, which is Shavasana. So when you're ready, again, you could use your strap here, but we'll inhale and reach up, and then on the exhale, we'll fold towards your legs. So maybe you bring your hands down towards your legs, your ankles, your feet. Maybe you grab hold of your strap and place it around the balls of your feet and use that to draw yourself forward. So it is a forward fold, but we're trying to lengthen the entire back side of your body again. So similar to our Dandasana. So we need to keep long in the upper body. So if we just kind of collapse and curl down, then we're not getting that full kind of stretch. So keep extending forwards rather than trying to go down so much. And then when all these kind of influential yogis were asked, Paschimottanasana is actually top 4 in all of the yoga poses that we do. So it's a really important one, and it can help us in so many other postures. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to move back up again. As you come back up, come back into Dandasana. So that same uplifted, really strong position. And then from there, we'll separate the legs, so quite wide. And we'll come in for Uttanasana, so our wide-legged forward fold. So again, if you've got blocks and you want to use them, bring them in front of you, and you can use them to balance on when you come forwards. Still thinking about moving the fleshy parts away, so you're really sitting as far forward onto your sit bones before you even begin. Now, in this posture, it's really just a preference. So if you like to reach up, then inhale to reach and exhale forwards. If you don't like to reach up, then hands on the ground and just walk yourself in. But just move in the way that suits you and feels right for your body. And then once you're there, maybe you grab your blocks, maybe you place them in front of you. And sometimes just having a block in front can help us to get that feeling of extending forwards towards the block. And bend your knees. So if it feels uncomfortable with the legs straight, then bend them. You can point your toes, you can flex your feet, it's up to you. When you're ready, we'll slowly and carefully start to rise back up. So take your time moving out of it. When you come back in, bring your legs in, maybe give them a little shake. So we're going to make our way down onto your mat. We're going to do a little bridge. And again, this time it will be a static bridge. And you could use a block. So if you want it to be a little bit more restorative, then grab one of the bigger blocks, not the really flat ones. So as you come in, we'll lie down. We'll bring your feet close towards your hips, so feet hip distance. And then again, if you want to, you could just press up, place your block underneath your hips, and then just lay the hips back down onto the block, which might feel quite nice after all of these forward folds. Otherwise, just start to press your hips up, keep them pretty balanced, and just move to where you can. If you want to come up onto your shoulders, maybe you start to move the shoulder blades under, and maybe you clasp your hands. Just see if that feels like the right thing. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release. So maybe release your hands or remove the block. And then start to lower your hips all the way back down to the ground. When you get there, we're going to do a wide-legged recline twist. So we're going to take your feet kind of as wide as your mat here, and then just drop both legs over towards the left side. So try and relax them when they get there. Maybe stretch your arms out and look along your right hand, but see how that feels. And if it doesn't feel right for them to be really wide like this, then just bring them together. Okay, we'll change sides, so slowly back towards the center, and then just move the legs over to the right. Again, keeping them wide if you can, but if it doesn't feel right, move them closer. When you're ready, move back towards the middle. You can draw your knees in towards your chest now, and if there's any final movements that you want to make, then do that now. So we are going to move into Shavasana. So if you do want to put socks or jumpers or anything on, then please do that. And then we'll just make our way down to the mat when you're ready. Just finding a comfortable position. Maybe moving back into your breath again. So just noticing it without trying to change it in any way. Try and allow your body just to soften. And just be thankful for the work that it's done this morning. I'm just going to read you a little poem this morning. I hope you like it. If there's one thing that I may tell you, let it be you are your home. Your body is the only house that you will ever truly own. Maybe it's got some broken windows and there are tear stains on the floors. Maybe you lock the things you wish you weren't behind its many doors. but there's wisdom on its bookshelves, and a laugh to light the rooms. There's a vase upon the table where the love you've grown still blooms. Dreams sit on the mantelpiece next to kindness and your trust, where you use them all so often, they have no time to collect dust. So please, don't look at mansions with that envy in your eyes. There's more than makes a home than its appearance or its size. Your body is your shelter, so you deserve to love it all. Don't let the world stand round outside and tell you how to paint your walls. How lucky that you have somewhere to protect you from the night. And if there's cracks left from the past, well, they just let in more light. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale through your nose, and then we'll just sigh it out your mouth. And you can do that again, so just deeply inhale, and just let it go. And then we'll move a little bit, so maybe your fingers, your toes, maybe stretch your arms overhead. And then as you bring your arms over, we'll start to bend your knees. So either feet on the ground or knees to your chest, and just moving a little bit. If you want to roll over onto your side, then do that. And we'll start to just make our way up to sitting. So just take your time, there's no rush. Maybe keep your eyes closed. We'll just find a comfortable seat when you're ready. We'll bring the palms together in front of your heart. So just leaving that little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the forward fold practice we did. Namaste. Well done. Okay, I'll just stop this recording and then you can unmute yourself if you like.